Hi everyone, today's video is my build for last month's Diecast Mafia challenge, which was to make a drag truck or tractor. These are purpose-built vehicles which pull weighted trailers along a dirt track. For this I'm going to use this Hot Wheels limited grip, because after looking into what these vehicles look like, it looked a lot similar, minus the off-road tyres. After drilling out the posts off camera, I dug the base plate into some bleach to dechrome it, which I'll retrieve and wash off camera later. Once the base plate's been dechromed and washed off, I start with the modifications. The first modification I want to do is remove the bed. Next I realise I need to remove the exhausts and the rear section of the base plate. The new back wheels that I want to add, which are the Zane Industries 19mm road wheels, won't fit otherwise. For the new rear axle, I decided to use some 3mm thick styrene rod, which fits the wheels perfectly but doesn't fit in place where the old axle used to be. So after removing some more of the base plate, I measure out and cut some 4mm square styrene tube to make the new axle. Unfortunately, as you can kind of see here, the wheels are a bit crooked. I figure this is because of the way the holes were cut into the wheels. So I glued the one good wheel to the axle. Unfortunately I forgot to film this bit, but after some tinkering I decided to re-drill out the centre hole with one of my drill bits, and then attach the wheel to the axle, and then also attach these centre caps that came with the wheels. Next I take the speed and break it up to make the rear axle's diff. For the front wheels I use these Chemsol Designs regular 12mm tyre 10 rim 12. I then cut down a paper clip for the front axle. Now onto the engine. I could have left this alone and it would have been perfectly alright, but I just couldn't resist not adding a supercharger to this. And for this I'm using a Chemsol Design supercharger, as well as one of their air filters. Which unfortunately, due to these things being a little bit fragile, the belt is broken off, as they usually do. To fix this I make a new one out of some styrene flat strip. Next, add these Chemsol design exhausts to the back to replace the ones I removed earlier. For the driver, I decided to use this 1/72nd scale World War II sailor by 3D Jasons. After a quick test fit, I removed his legs like usual. He still didn't quite fit, so I make some adjustments. And after removing the base of the seat, he fits. So I glue him into place. Now it's time to give this truck some firepower. So I started by adding this Chemsol Designs machine gun body from the machine gun pack. I wasn't quite happy with the barrels I had left from that pack. So instead I opted to use this barrel from the Ramshackle Games 20mm car conversion kit. Now usually I just glue these to the side of the vehicle or the roof and leave them like that, but I want to start including brackets to show that the gun's actually bolted to the car and not just kind of freestanding. So for this I'm going to use some flat styrene strip and make these little holders for the weapon. Following this, I tried to think up an idea for the rear defense weapon. Initially I was thinking of doing an oil dropper, but I've already done quite a few vehicles with oil droppers. The next thought was a flamethrower, which again I've already done quite a few flamethrower vehicles. And then I thought about the tyre medic from the Mad Max Fury Road film. So I grabbed the original wheels for this casting and decided I was going to turn them into some makeshift mines, which I have already done mines on a lot of vehicles, but I like the idea of these being repurposed wheels turned into weapons. Firstly, I remove the wheels from their axle. I think cover both sides with some drawing pins. So I trim the pieces down and then stick them together. With the mines assembled, they don't actually roll that well, which is also going to make them impossible to animate. So to fix this, I plan to add some of this 1mm styrene square rod. Adding these to the wheels to give them some kind of tread, but mostly just so they will hold the position. Now to make the delivery system for these mines, I first start by grabbing some of this L-shaped styrene to make a ramp for the mines. Next I build a release hatch using some more of the using some styrene rod for the hinge. After drilling a hole into the hatch piece, I then assemble the pieces together and leave it for the glue to harden. Next it's time to add some battle damage, starting with drilling some bullet holes in with my hobby knife. I also use my hobby knife to add some damage to the windshield, adding in some bullet holes and then scoring it to make the cracks. I then use a file to rough up the body. Unfortunately I forgot to animate my usual part where this thing drives off to paint, so here's some footage of the car fully assembled before paint. Initially this footage was going to be used in a short, but I filmed it in landscape and not portrait because I thought of my software I could tweak the settings and get it to work, but unfortunately I couldn't. As for paint, I decided to add this to my Rusty Bootleggers faction. So I start with a coat of Revell Aquacolor Rust, followed by a stippling of Revell Aquacolor Leather Brown, as well as a stippling of Revell Aquacolor Bronze. Then hit the exposed metal parts with some Revell Aquacolor Aluminium and Steel. As usual I skip the rest of the painting, but paint all the little details and such. Paint the entire casting with my homemade black wash just to give it that nice dirty wasteland look and blend everything together. After that I added an R for the Rusty Bootleggers. Now sadly this build took a little longer to get done as I was working on a bunch of different things and kind of put this one on the back burner. I did initially try and film a short and have the short released, but like I said, I filmed it in landscape and not portrait and thought I could tweak the settings and make it into a short, but it just didn't work out. Anyhow, I think I figured out how to make shorts now, so hopefully future builds will have the occasional short made, possibly even a few little animations and such, as I try and experiment with that side of YouTube. I think this will make another great addition to my ever-growing Rusty Bootleggers team. Be sure to check out the other builders who took part in this Diecast Mafia challenge by searching Diecast Mafia Drag Truck or Tractor Challenge. As usual, please stick around for the usual glamour shots and the short animation. I hope you've all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you all in the next one.